Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
For me again, you can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't for me again.
What we go to eat no money, what we at you, eat no at you. Covid money, miss you, we eat the your little rat you. Use the youth, them on the waste, and bust a man to statue. Say me like a catch you, but they got in a figure you. Take the spit of money, girl, and say that it's not you. On the head, the man above him, look him, I got a bet. Too much it in the kitchen, some fly well like a patu. When singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me,
300% raise.
it burn me,
Garbage pile of it is.
it burn me,
Give the teacher them
it
raise.
burn me,
I see corruption
it
face.
burn me,
Mash down the people them house.
it burn me,
Every day appear arms out.
it burn me,
Appear money them a thief.
it burn me.
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't for me again, you can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't for me again.
Come me say big up all the charities and all of the giver. Some a go like say them powerful, me no mega bigger. The 100 the promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, them rap and they down in our river. Member bold money and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start like thief when them sell.
It burn me,
Or they treat the market man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat the cat man.
it burn me,
Or they treat the peanut man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat the dirt man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat the soul man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat policeman.
it burn me,
How them a treat soldier man.
it burn me.
How them a treat everyone.
Can't for me again, you can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You
Stibbidim day, stibbidim day, stibbidim day. We in Global TV say certain kind of friend we no cape. And some informer friend we love lake. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV, check it.
Good morning, and welcome to Global TV. Thank you for joining us this morning. Welcome to your program At a Glance. Britain on the verge of conscription. Why, you may ask, to bolster the Ukraine front line. It will be a suicide if Britain tries it. But there are people who can explain it much better than me. And somewhere along this morning, George Galloway will explain, after what happened in the Oval Office on Friday, what the consequences might be to us here in Britain. Our young men or young women could be conscripted into the British Army, the nursery, the British nursery, because it's really not an army anymore. The British nursery will conscript your sons and your daughter and send them to the front line to meet their death at the hands of Russia bombs. Good morning and welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. TikTok, good morning. IG, YouTube, good morning and welcome to my community party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls. Good morning and welcome. Like and share the live, please. Sharon Bernard, good morning. How are you doing? How are you doing? Morning. Andrea Joan Hamilton Wilson, John Rack 8766, Rosemary, Joan Bailey, Sheena Kelly. Good morning. Chelsea Clinton, Monica Horton, Annette Beckford, Rose, Vincent Dinham, Annie Jones, good morning. Like and share the live, please. TikTok, good morning. Debbie and Duncan, Kay, Delroy Steele, McQuittalk TV, Lion, Ozzy. Good morning and welcome to Global TV this morning. I took the entire weekend. Debbie Jarvis TV, how you do? Marcia Thomas. I took the entire weekend. Didn't feel like budging at all. I've watched over Portmore yesterday. Didn't care too much. But bloody well annoyed by the PNP. Coming with I go hot to know, but me I go talk. It's about time the PNP, given that they've been knocked back in the polls, if we're to believe the Don Anderson poll. Stop with the time come. Stop with the what can go so, what can go so. Start talking to us about policies. What will the People's National Party be doing different from this corrupt, nepotistic, thieving government that we have in office? That is what we want to hear from the PNP. Andrew Holness can call a snap election at any time. We are still not sure, not close to what the People's National Party will be doing if they form government. It's time they start speaking to us and stop telling we say, time come and what can go so, what can go. We know say it can go so, and we know say time can come, but for what and to do what? PNP. What can go so, what can go. We want policies. We want to hear if you will continue to steal poor people's land, as this government is doing by building concrete house and lease land, or asking people for land ownership to give them an indigent house and then turn around and take it after they die, give it to somebody else. We need the PNP to talk about things like that. We need the PNP to talk to us about, if they form government, how will they reform education? Given what we saw in St. James, how will they reform education that takes away the power of appointment of these powerful positions from MPs and give it to the local government? It would be better if local government was regulating schools rather than the MPs, because you have a broader democracy at local government than you invested in one total MP. Too much power for one MP. So Shauna Simit, I am aware them talk things at night time. We no night owl. We no rolling calf. And not everybody set up to watch their sin thing at night time. These are political rallies. Them need to start give way holistic policy. There's lots of broken down things in the country at the moment that they need to start telling us how we, as the PNP, will address those. Andrew can't teach them something there again. And if the PNP come out and lay them policies, if Andrew come with it, we're going to say the PNP policy. I mean, we're going to know. So, stocking up and waiting until that 2-3 week period when election call for rolled out. No, prepare your media machine and start. What happened to the lower branch of policies? This is where I don't agree, Shauna, that they are waiting until Andrew called the election to roll out their policy. I don't agree with that. The reason why I don't agree is because it's going to be just shouting match on the campaign. We want proper outline. We know them are going to prepare something on paper, but we want to hear PNP explaining to us in detail. I would rather more a press conference style, because you see the shouting on the stage them. Judith Roberts, the shouting on the stage them, we often don't hear much. It's a new era. Colleen, good morning. How you do? Welcome. It's a new, I don't know how to fix TikTok for make people on my team. Hold on there. Asa? Hey, me alert! Look like me alert. Whoa, hold on there. Hold on there. 1 second there. Hold on. As I go. Me no know if it work. Me go try it back again. But let's get back to the PNP then. Given that you're falling back in the polls, Sophia, if we are to believe the Dan Anderson poll, the people needs to start hearing from the party what they will be doing if they form government. It's not rocket science. We shouldn't continue to encourage them to grace us with the noise on the political stage. We want proper sit down, proper sit down and explain their policies and take questions on it. If they want to modernize things and move into a more understandable way of our politics, the PNP need to start talk now. There's a lot of things, low-hanging fruit. All right, you don't want to talk on a big policy them. There are a lot of things that you can tell us, Ladybug, Evan Bradford, that's sofa. There are a lot of low-hanging fruit, Mandela strength, that they can tell us. Mandela strength, I'm going to address you, but everybody might be angry. But as you say it, because one of the things we come for this morning is to sit down and look and address. Damien is in no position to take on leadership of the People's National Party at the moment. You have a choice of Mark Golding or 13 others. We are stuck with Mark Golding, and we must continue with Mark Golding. If it's their problem, if they never see the need to change him before, they are stuck now. Their job is to unite Unite around Mark Golding. Regardless, you may feel uncomfortable or not confident enough with his leadership. That's where the PNP is at the moment. The leadership discussion continuously, it's not going to go anywhere. That's why with the PNP needs to quell that division, make decisive move, and move forward. It's not time yet for Damien. Damien doesn't have a seat. To be the leader of a political party, you have to be an elected representative in our Westminster democracy. The PNP could have made well with Dr. Phillips. They messed it up. You have to deal with the consequences of that. The problem is they seem to cannot get over it. Because the issue that Dennis Gordon raised on the stage in Central Kingston last week or when, it's making its turn. That division still exists when it comes to Mark Golding's leadership. If they made a mistake then, they didn't correct it 2022, 2023, after the local government election. Shut up! Damian Crawford, Ronnie Twait, Angela Brown, shut up and move on. If you cannot work with Mark Golding, vacate the party and your position. But your argument or whatever argument of leadership at the moment, it is a political suicide. Shut up, unite and move on, PNP. That's what needs to happen. Shut up, unite and move on. If you make a bad choice, you stuck with it. All right? So suck it up and move on. But let's go back to conscription before we delve away into our business and Paula Lewis. Because I have a question to ask Paula, Nigel, and Andrew this morning, but I'm just going to pose a question. What have I done, TikTok? I have not. Warning violation. Restricted. What have I said that TikTok have violated me? I wonder if TikTok knows that I have 2 pages now. I can go live if you slap me down. All right, TikTok? I did not say anything bad. Whoever report my page, you can't stop. Me now go talk for please on the mind. I'm going to say what it is. Come in and say when me say anything for the no report my page boat. It's just the truth. Anyway, let's go to conscription. George Galloway will rant on for about 20 minutes, but it's 20 important minutes of rant, and he will lay bare Keir Starmer with a threat in the end.
Well, if the Americans are the enemy of the West, it begs the obvious question. Who are these West? What kind of classification is it?
Top of the screen,
that does not include the biggest country in Europe and now doesn't include the United States of America. It doesn't include Latin America. We've all long gotten used to that. It does have some geographical peculiarities. Australia and New Zealand are, for now at least, a part of the West. So is Japan, although tell that to the men that were building the bridge over the River Kwai. Tell them that in the camp at Tenko. The idea that the United States is now the enemy of the West immediately brands the people who are describing it thus as really living on another planet. But then we know already that they do. You'll be familiar with the pampered pompadour pop stars who gathered at the height of the Ethiopian famine to sing, "We are the world." They really do think they are the world, and the they is getting smaller by the day. Who is the West? Is it the TikTok army?
Why is Amazon paying me $63,000 a month? Well, I didn't make this kind of money selling yoga mats and toasters, and I damn sure wasn't talking
Of Norway that I just saw there, the hippie army of the Netherlands of fond memory with flowers in their hair and legalized weed in their knapsacks. Who exactly is this coalition of the willing? Believe it or not, he actually said that. Keir Starmer actually used the phrase that Tony Blair used to assemble a group of people to invade and occupy Iraq in the biggest foreign policy blunder since First World War. He used it again. He's assembling a coalition of the willing, a coalition of the killing. We call Tony Blair's, but actually the killing will be almost all the other way around in Keir Starmer's coalition. This charge of the woke brigade gathered in London today. The King of England was pimped out by a here today, gone tomorrow politician. First, he was forced into signing a letter inviting Donald Trump to come for a second state visit, although the horses are still recovering from the fright of his last one. And then Zelensky gets taken to meet the king. You can forget about Donald Trump coming now. If you'll forgive me putting it this way, why would Donald Trump want sloppy seconds of King Charles III? There'll be no state visit by Donald Trump, and it's maybe just as well because the Conservative Party, long the traditional right-wing party of the country, long the most pro-American of all the parties, declared today that Donald Trump will not be welcome on a state visit to Britain until he has proved to Kemi Badenoch that he's a reliable enough ally of this now amorphous, mysterious, actually, West. So I want to take a closer look at who and what the West is, because if we're about to form a coalition of the killing to invade Ukraine, despite the warning from Russia that it will inevitably lead to World War III, we better know the mighty armies that we're dealing with. Let's start with the TikTok army of Norway. They were there in front of their weapons, in their fatigues, literally doing a TikTok dance in celebration of the fact that a major Norwegian company had refused to refuel the nuclear submarines belonging to the United States Navy. That's the United States Navy protecting them. They refused to give it fuel. Just yesterday, the Norwegian army didn't stand up in the Second World War to too much examination. Indeed, it didn't stand up to any examination at all. It was occupied by Hitler before you could say Jack Robinson. Or what about the Swedish army? Well, they declared neutrality so that Hitler wouldn't have to fight them in order to occupy them, which he very promptly did. There's the Danish army, there's the Dutch army, there's the Portuguese army, there's the Spanish army, there's the Italian army, whose tanks have 1 forward gear and 5 reverse gears. And then there's the German army. Remember them? The putative prime minister, chancellor of Germany, actually put out a picture of himself and branded himself the leader of the free world. Jawohl, mein Führer, said nobody at all. Not even the 25% of the German people who voted in the elections last week can fancy being the leader of the free world, especially if that means having to re-enter Ukraine with force, because they took quite a bloody good hiding the last time that they were there. Or it could be the British Army that will lead this coalition of the willing. It could be the British Army whose one aircraft carrier is unable to leave the port right now, running repairs and all that, you know, probably just as well, because it would not last the proverbial 5 minutes. Or maybe Britain's 40 serviceable tanks. 40 serviceable tanks. Russia has 9,000 tanks on the battlefield. Britain has 40 that are capable of being sent into action, though you'd need to get them from Britain to the Ukrainian battlefront without further mishap, or you'd be down to 39, or maybe 38. Or maybe it's the British Army as a whole. Well, I now discover that we have 74,000 soldiers in the British Army. That's roundabout the crowd at Old Trafford this very afternoon. Although only half of that 79,000, only half of them are frontline troops. The rest are medics and orderlies and cooks and barbers and the like. And 25% of that half are unavailable for combat at any one time for one reason or another. So it's a dad's army, really, that they're assembling there. And they're throwing money at Zelensky like it went out of fashion. As I told you, 4 billion British pounds were given to Zelensky across 2 days by Sir Keir Starmer in a country so straitened that we are staring down the barrel of another recession. Our old age pensioners are freezing. 4 million of our children are hungry. Our public realm is crumbling to dust in front of our eyes. Our cities, no-go areas for the police in many places in the country. Boys stabbing each other, girls stabbing old age pensioners, as happened in London the night before last. 3 girls, teenager, 14, 15, 16, arrested after allegedly murdering an old age pensioner on the streets of Britain. You'd think that a Labour government might be inclined to stay at home and fix the roof in our own country, instead of claiming there's no money to fix the roof because I've given it all so that Zelensky can sniff it up his proverbial hooter. But that's what's happening. And I got to asking myself, what's he going to spend this money on? Donald Trump has already said there'll be no more American weapons sent to Ukraine.
Discover why everyone is talking about portable tire inflator. All right, guys, check this out. I was driving home from work a few months ago.
The European armories are empty. It would take a lead time of a year or 2 years to order new tanks from a factory. What is this money for? If it is not money laundering, if it is not to come back to the various countries giving this largesse in kickbacks for the political class, like it is now abundantly clear it has been doing under both the Obama and the Biden administrations. But that didn't stop the money flow continuing. And little Macron, whose wife is alleged to have sexually molested him at the age of 14 when she was 40, is now, according to Candace Owens, revealed to be a man, a transgender woman. That's what I mean about the charge of the woke brigade. You know, are we really going into battle behind Mr. and Mrs. Macron?
Correction, George. It's actually Mr. and Mr. Macron. Or you can rather say Mr. Macron, plural.
We're really going into battle behind the self-appointed Führer of the free world, Mr. Metz or Merz or Mercedes, whatever it is they call him. Are we really sending our soldiers into harm's way as part of this coalition, riding once more into the valley of death? Gallant, no doubt, but it is called the valley of death for a reason. Credit to Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. They have seen the light. That's why the FT has banished them from the West. Hard luck. Little Belgium has taken your place, President Trump.
Bear in mind, this man, George Galloway, does not like Donald Trump at all. I think it's the very first time George Galloway agrees with something that Donald Trump does.
You're no longer a pucker member of the Western master race, which, as Lavrov said today, for 500 years has been the source of almost all of the trouble in the world. Well, we ain't done yet. The sun may be setting on our economies. Our societies may be broke and broken. Our industries may be closing in the name of greenery, quackery, and the rest. It is not inspiring to me. And it will not be inspiring to potential recruits of the British Armed Forces, whose numbers are falling like a stone. Which is why I have to reiterate, if the boots that you're going to put on the ground, Keir Starmer, in any way...
This is the important part of it, where Keir Starmer will have to either turn guns at us, or he will have to send all of us to prison.
...we involve the forced conscription of our young men and women into your fool's errand in Ukraine, we will oppose you with every fiber of our being. You'll have to imprison all of us. We will organize a mass movement against conscription in Britain, the like of which you cannot even imagine. We'll hide conscripts to keep them out of your grisly clutches. We will conduct a campaign of peaceful civil disobedience in Britain that will bring your conscription and your war drive grinding to a halt. We will make you look like a fool in front of the rest of the woke brigade you clearly hope to lead. Which brings me to the events in the Oval Office. I must tell you, I've been a little bit surprised at some of the people who saw the situation diametrically opposite to mine. Lindsay German, for example, the convener of the Stop the War Coalition, of which I was a co-founder along with her, she tweeted that it was a disgraceful display of bullying by Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. The bullies were the guys telling Zelensky that this war has to stop. The victim of the bullying was the guy who turned up looking like a ragged arse street corner boy, a thug, strutting around from a sedentary position, demanding more money, more weapons, more war. How does your sympathy lie with the guy demanding more war and your allocation of the title thuggery go to the guys that were telling him it's all over? we're pulling stumps. We're going to negotiate an end to this. You're gambling with World War III, Trump told him. How dare you disrespect us, said the Vice President J.D. Vance. In reply to which, Zelensky called him a lying bitch. In Russian, of course, because Ukraine.
And just to let you know, George Galloway is a Russian speaker, so he would have understood what was said.
And is not his first language. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm for candor. I don't really care that he doesn't wear a suit. The Pope doesn't wear a suit to the Oval Office either. I don't even care that he roughs up the company that he's in.
One of the most common operations I perform, and I have a special.
But when you are $500 billion in debt to somebody, the simplest ABC of etiquette and diplomacy would tell you that you better be on your best behavior, especially when you've come to demand that they give you even more money, even more weapons. So that tells me that Zelensky is an idiot, perhaps a chemically fueled idiot, because nobody but an idiot would turn up behaving like that, dressed like that, calling the vice president to his face a lying bitch like that, unless he had lost the balance of his sensibilities. So I'm asking you, if this really is a man to whom we should be giving even more money and even more weapons, I'll tell you what's going to happen to the boots on the ground and the planes in the air that Keir Starmer promised today in public. The airplanes will be shot down out of the sky if they even get off the runway. Whether they take off from Poland or whether they take off from the soon-to-be entirely inoperable Ukrainian airfields, they will be shot from the sky. And still more British treasure, and more importantly, still more British servicemen's blood will be lost for nothing. And as for the shoes, they will soon be empty shoes, because with just one missile, the Russian armed forces will take out the entire Barmy army sent by Starmer into that valley of death. And so it is with great earnestness I appeal to my fellow countrymen and women. I appeal even to the Prime Minister, but more, I appeal to His Majesty the King, being abused and cruelly abused in the service of Keir Starmer's woke political brigade. Don't do it. Don't send our gallant young men and women, especially if you've conscripted them and forced them on to a horse into the valley of death they rode. Don't do it. This is the mother of all talk shows.
That was George Galloway, Britain's best politician by a long shot. One might have different opinion of George Galloway, but onto Trump and Zelensky. I think Zelensky weren't treated bad enough. I really think this guy was not treated bad enough. For the last few years, we've seen Zelensky going around speaking in parliament, signing deals, signing to collect more bombs. You cannot win a war with Russia. NATO was 30 countries when the war started. It's now 32. with or without America's support, even if it's 100 countries come together, you're just not going to win Russia. So Britain, Saturday when Zelensky come home Friday night, them carry my Britain, then give him money, then carry him round, then pat him back, good on you, my son. We will continue the war. If Britain think it can push up in a Russia face, bring it on, Britain, because this is how the British Empire would be flattened. If 30 countries cannot fight Russia, Britain think that they're a world leader. As Keir Starmer said, we have always stepped up to lead the world. We have always been doing it. Lead on, Keir Starmer. Lead on, Keir Starmer. Lead on. But for those of you who live in Britain, the moment you see Keir Starmer commit troops, you need to start getting your children out of this country. Because once them 17 to about 30, so Britain are going to arrest them, don't train them, and put them on the front line to be murdered. This is what is coming to Britain. How is Donald Trump not wanting to stop the war is a good thing? Why Britain not take up something with America? We don't keep saying, we don't give Zelensky more money to shore him up. Zelensky told us the other day when he came back from America, ask Joe Biden about the rest of the money. I only got 150 million, said Zelensky. Only 100. Shana, wanna prepare for start sending the children them out of this country, or wanna prepare so we throw this country into chaos, because they will have to imprison or turn their guns at us in this Britain. But under no circumstances we will ever allow this government comfortable to conscript young people into a deadly war that they will not and cannot win and should not be fighting. It will not happen, Britain. You will not get that easy ride to just draw people, children, and send them onto the battlefield. The battle, Keir Starmer, the battle will be in this very Britain. So try careful away you do, because you know, so when it comes to war, the British people are not afraid to stand up against it. You know, when it comes to war, to civil disobedience, this is the speciality of British protesters. Civil disobedient, arrest, tear gas, and them something they do not bother us. The British system is quite well aware of that. Tear gas, arrest, them something there don't bother. Are you prepared to turn the gun at us, Keir Starmer? Because I must that you are going to do if you are going to take people picnic and go carry them, go fight Zelensky unwinnable war. Zelensky must resign and make somebody else strike a peace deal. Or otherwise, what will happen is Russia will colonize Ukraine. It's either or either. Take the easier deal where you have now. Peace. You don't need a peace. You don't need protection. What Ukraine and Zelensky needs to do is come out of the big boys' business. Because what we have now is what we would have had in Cuba when the Cuban Missile Crisis. America don't want Russian missile in Cuba. Putin don't want American missile in Ukraine. It is simple. The only peace for Ukraine, keep out of it. Keep neutral. You can't manage Russia. The people that will push you up in a Russia face can't manage Russia. The peace for Ukraine would be for Ukraine to keep neutral and keep out of the big boys' business. The deal was, don't come further than East Germany, where America keep pushing pan Russia going. Russia said, don't come further, you keep pushing. The only way you're going to have peace, keep out of the big boys' business. Let Biden go take up himself, go in Russia, and stop push you and your people's blood. Donald Trump never treat you bad enough. Trust me. He never treat you bad enough. The war must stop. Anyway. Who do we go to next? Da vex. Who do we go to next? I'm still going to go at Damian Crawford, because Damian Crawford is your next Minister of Education should the Golden administration come to government. Other than that fine writing, other than the fine writing released by Damian don't think, oh no, let me park Damian for a while. Let's get back to America while we are at the Trump situation, because I am confused by an story in the Gleaner. We will listen it together, and then I'm not going to what the word name? I'm not going to interject. I'm going to make the whole thing play out. Then I will tell you what my confusions are. Morning, everybody. Morning. Welcome.
Grant. I'm a United States citizen born in Camden, New Jersey. On about the 2nd of March, 2023, I was leaving a girl's house. Apparently, ICE was looking for someone that used to stay at that address. After leaving the house, I went to a gas station. ICE pulled upon me and asked me, do I know Mr. Nicely? In reply, I said no. Well, we got into a little bit of dispute to where I used some euphemism such as go climb shut fuck mountain. I was busy, right? And he got offended. So we started arguing with each other. Look, I'm a federal officer, and then again, I'm like, I don't care nothing about you being a federal officer. So he arrested me, took me to Montgomery County Processing Center. While in Montgomery Processing Center, to be fair, ICE do have the right to hold you up to 90 days for investigation. Upon the completion of that 90 days, Mr. Carlos Pinero, the ICE officer, came to me and said, look, if I let you out of here and you come after me, I'm going to come after you with everything I got. I said, by the way, you still have that attorney? In reply, I says no, and that's when everything went downhill. He kept me in ICE detention facility for 23 months. Now, Montgomery County have a policy that ICE can only hold you up to 2 years. Right. Now, 2 days short of the eve of those 2 years, ICE came up with travel documents. Now, mind me, ICE been trying to get travel documents from the Jamaican consulate for 2 years and have not gotten them. So I'm highly suspicious if these travel documents to kick a United States citizen out of the country is legal. I had an interview with the Jamaican consul, Mr. Burton, at which time Mr. Burton came to the conclusion I'm not from Jamaica. Did he give any documentation to say that? Say that? No, well, they don't do that. They simply have an interview over the phone, and he makes a determination there based on the information you give him and the information back here. I couldn't give him any information for Jamaica because this is my first time being in Jamaica. I went to the Houston Consul General Office, and I had an interview with that lady, Miss Johnson, I believe is her last name, at which time Miss Johnson also came to the conclusion I'm not a Jamaican citizen. So she was more so reluctant to send documents. She is now over the Miami office. So, as I stated before, The travel documents to kick me out the country is highly questionable, seeing that they've been trying for 2 years to get those documents. And up on the eve of me being released, all of a sudden the documents popped up.
They say this is your first time in Jamaica?
This is my first time in Jamaica.
Do you have any Jamaican relatives?
Ma'am, I don't have no Jamaican relatives. Okay. Like I said, this is my first time here. I love the island. I love the hills. My God, this reminds me of California. But like I said, I'm an Israelite. I'm also a minister. All things happen according to the purpose of God. I also have vision being in a country preaching the gospel. So maybe this is it.
You said you wanted to find a church.
Yes, I'm a Jew. I'm looking for a Jewish organization or any church to start my ministry. And it's going to be a doozy because I'm touched by God Almighty.
Said you'll be going to Readiness. A friend put you up.
Yeah, a friend gave me a place in Readiness to stay for a couple of days. So,
for that, where are you looking at for that? Where are you looking at?
Well, I don't know. Whatever the Lord have, the Lord have that man prepared for me. I just came out of it, and I thank God for that because a lot of folks come out here, they ain't got no place to stay, but the good Lord have this man right here say, hey, you can come stay with me. I also explained my situation to the ICE officer
here.
Yeah, went to the ICE officer on the plane.
Okay.
And their response was, hey, if your story is true, and the Jamaican government determined that you're not a Jamaican citizen, we will take you, put you back on the plane. Unfortunately, they left before I finished the interview. Someone needs to know what Donald Trump is doing to Black Americans in America. I'm not the first. I'm not the first. I'm not the first, and I won't be the last. There was also another individual that was in ICE. I think it was about 9 months ago. ICE locked him up for 9 months, and he hired a lawyer. These lawyers, man, they charging you $10,000, $15,000. Look, I don't have $10,000 to pay. Even if I had $10,000 to pay, I'm not gonna pay because it's not that big of a deal. The law is the law. The documents prove fingerprints don't lie. You and I can look alike.
It's in the biometrics.
You and I would never have the same biometric fingerprint. And my biometric, it's not Mr. Nicely, which I already showed that to you. So that in itself tell you that something very, very shady is going on, that someone needs to get to the bottom of this. And I'm hoping that by you bringing this to light, attorney here or attorney there will hear about it and step to the plate. My name is Trevor Anthony Grant. I'm a United States citizen born in Camden, New Jersey. On about the 2nd of...
I don't know where to start. I am actually confused. If this was Britain, then I wouldn't be confused. But he claimed to be born in the United States. He's subjected to birthright citizenship. It seems as if somewhere along the line, he went to prison for some offense or whatever. And ICE is been holding him for 23 months. That's prior to Donald Trump. Even though I'm saying it's what Donald Trump is doing to Black people of America. The other part that confused me, in Britain, I know Britain issue those travel documents for children who are born here to parents who does not have their legal status. And if the country wants to deport them, then Jamaica provides Britain a travel document for them because we don't have birthright citizenship. So if they're born to a parents who doesn't have immigration status, they takes their parent nationality. So they automatically takes the Jamaican nationality. That's how it is here. In America, though, it is not so. You have what is called a birthright citizenship, which is an age-old thing, which he would have been covered under. Americans commit crime every day, and I don't see, because ICE held on to him prior to Donald Trump. My question is he lying about his real identity? Did he go to the United States in his real identity? Because if he was born there, because the Biden regime was trying to deport him as well. So this is what I don't understand. Him claiming to be born there and for 2 years in ICE detention, and he seemed to not being able to identify himself or verify that he's a U.S. citizen. I would like to question him myself because I am so confused by all that. If it was Britain, I wouldn't be so confused because I know Britain don't give birthright citizenship. So a person would be subjected to that. There was quite similarity to that in the Windrush debacle, which we fought very hard against in this country. But this story, I am so confused, like literally. Is he lying that he was born in the United States? Because that's easy to prove. Or has he been a United States citizen by birth forever and not have any form of documentation to prove it? Another question I want to ask, could it be that that is someone who is having a mental health problem which we're not aware of? Because the arguments tied up and confusing, I don't know. I'm literally, I'm confused about this. I literally am confused. I don't know how to fathom what his story could be, would be, don't be. Ago did ICE government approve to send him? But ICE, Jamaica provided ICE a travel document. That's what I'm saying, Debbie. He would have to have at least his birth paper. You'd have to have school record and all them sitting there. I'm confused. Siblings, yeah. There's in Europe and America, you're linked into certain services from you're a child, which can vary. Me not understand, yeah. Oh God, that's mad. Me not understand. It appeared in my head because I don't know. It sounds like somebody were either compos mentis or there was a system where no, a lot of people used to do that. A lot of American family used to do that. American family used to come down with children. Some of them may know of this. It may happen in our family or in our community. But you know, American children, you can travel with them with just an ID. You don't have to have or just them birth paper. You the adult and your passport and them birth paper. It was that easier. I don't know if it's still like that. I know of cases where people used to come down with children, send up back the children, them ahead of them, and when them go back up, them carry up Jamaican children on those documents. I'm aware of situation like that back in the days. Don't know if them something that possible now with all the tightening and the restrictions. It makes me wonder if him are one of the children them from Jamaica who went to the United States like that, because I knew of a lot of children back in the days who went to the United States like that. So me don't know, but where is his birth? This is what me I said, Debbie. Me don't. If the Jamaica Authority can help us as to why they issued the travel document for him, because if it was Britain, then once them verify that you are of Jamaican parent or Jamaican descent without the status, then they would issue that document. But birthright confused the whole of everything that he says. Regardless, if you are born in the United States and you go to prison, you're not subjected to deportation. You're only subjected to deportation if you're a neutralized citizen, not a citizen of birth. Me confused. When you're not talk truth. When you're not confused, too. TikTok, tap up the screen. The TikTok, owner and stay bad, so. TikTok, owner and stay bad, so this morning. Tap up the screen. YouTube, I hope I hit the like button. And don't bother. That's why I'm saying, Lyndon, you're not subjected to deportation once you're a citizen by birth in the US. In Britain, both Britain and America, you're subjected to deportation if your citizenship is by naturalization. You go to prison, you commit a certain offense, they revoke your citizenship. But he says he's insisting on he was born in the United States. Him don't know anything else. Him don't know nothing else. Him could go up there as a baby. Him could literally don't know where him born. I know cases in the UK like that. I know children who came here at the age of 3 months or 3 weeks. Them don't know, so them never born here. So it is a confusion I'm trying to work my head around based on experiences I've had with other cases where sometimes a lot of children are in Europe where them think them born here because them come here when them never understand. They thought they're born here, and only when certain thing crops up, they realize that sometimes they don't even have a correct status. But I'm confused, literally is confused by his explanation. I'm going to make him talk you one more time again. I'm confused.
Hey, Grant, I'm a United States citizen born in Camden, New Jersey. On about the 2nd of March, 2023, I was leaving a girl's house. Apparently, ICE was looking for someone that used to stay at that address. After leaving the house, I went to a gas station. ICE pulled upon me and asked me, do I know Mr. Nicely? In reply, I said no. Well, we got into a little bit of dispute to where I used some euphemism, such as go climb Shutfuck Mountain. I was busy, right? And he got offended. So we started arguing with each other. Look, I'm a federal officer. And then again, I'm like, I don't care nothing about you being a federal officer. So he arrested me. Took me to Montgomery County Processing Center. While in Montgomery Processing Center, to be fair, ICE do have the right to hold you up to 90 days for investigation. Upon the completion of that 90 days, Mr. Carlos Pinero, the ICE officer, came to me and said, look, if I let you out of here and you come after me, I'm going to come after you with everything I got. I said, by the way, you still have that attorney? In reply, I says no, and that's when everything went downhill. He kept me in ICE detention facility for 23 months. Now, Montgomery County have a policy that ICE can only hold you up to 2 years. Right. Now, 2 days short of the eve of those 2 years, ICE came up with travel documents. Now, mind me, ICE been trying to get travel documents from the Jamaican consulate for 2 years and have not gotten them. Okay. So I'm highly suspicious if these travel documents to kick a United States citizen out of the country is legal. I had an interview with the Jamaican consul, Mr. Burton, at which time Mr. Burton came to the conclusion I'm not from Jamaica. Did he give you any documentation to say that? Say that? No, well, they don't do that. They simply have an interview over the phone, and he makes a determination there based on the information you give him and the information back here. I couldn't give him any information for Jamaica because this is my first time being in Jamaica. Went to the Houston Consul General office, And I had an interview with that lady, Miss Johnson, I believe is her last name, at which time Miss Johnson also came to the conclusion I'm not a Jamaican citizen. So she was more so reluctant to send documents. She is now over the Miami office. So, as I stated before, the travel documents to kick me out the country is highly questionable, seeing that they've been trying for 2 years to get those documents. And up on the eve of me being released, all of a sudden the documents popped up.
They say this is your first time in Jamaica?
This is my first time in Jamaica.
Do you have any Jamaican relatives?
Ma'am, I don't have no Jamaican relatives. Okay. Like I said, this is my first time here. I love the island. I love the hills. My God, this reminds me of California. But like I said, you know, I'm an Israelite. I'm also a minister. You know, all things happen according to the purpose of God. I also have vision being in a country preaching the gospel. So maybe this is it.
You said you wanted to find a church.
Yes, I'm a Jew.
I'm a Jew, I'm an Israelite, I'm a minister. So I'm afraid that the whole of them something there, I want to know. Sir, I'm afraid that the whole of them something there, I want. Church. Hey, church. I'm money making something that you know, sir. Sir, look like you come to make money.
I'm looking for a Jewish organization or any church to start my ministry. And what it's going to be a doozy because I'm touched by God Almighty.
Hey, go padel for Davis. Go padel for Davis. Go down, what the thief in gunman one name? Go down a Rydell Road. Sir, I want to see you to ask you about your birth certificate and the primary school where you go, sir. Hey, me want to hold Jamaica journalists and beat them because I know me not hear the journalists ask about birth certificate. Me want to hold the journalists. But you know, through TikTok, hold on for me more journalists.
Friend put you up. Yeah, a friend gave me a place in Readiness to stay for a couple of days. So, you know,
that where are you looking at for that? Where are you looking at?
Well, I don't know. Whatever the Lord have, I mean, the Lord have that man prepared for me. I just came out of it, and I thank God for that because a lot of folks come out here, they ain't got no place to stay. But the good Lord have this man right here say, hey, you can come stay with me. I also explained my situation to the ICE officer
here.
Yeah, went to the ICE officer on the plane.
Okay.
And their response was, hey, you know, if your story is true, and the Jamaican government determined that you're not a Jamaican citizen, we will take you, put you back on the plane. Unfortunately, they left before I finished the interview. Someone needs to know what Donald Trump is doing to Black Americans in America. I'm not the first, and I won't be the last. There was also another individual that was in ICE, I think it was about 9 months ago. ICE locked him up for 9 months, and you know he hired a lawyer. You know these lawyers, man, they charging you $10,000, $15,000. Look, I don't have $10,000 to pay. And even if I had $10,000 to pay, I'm not gonna pay because you know it's not that big of a deal. You know the law is the law. The documents prove fingerprint don't lie. You know you and I can look alike. You and I would never have the same biometric fingerprint. And my biometric. It's not Mr. Nicely, which I already showed that to you. So that in itself tell you that something very...
Who is Mr. Nicely, sir? Who is Mr. Nicely? Because I've never heard you said, I have provided them my birth certificate. Not everybody have a passport. I have provided them my school record. I have provided them my medical record. Who is Mr. Nicely, sir? Come maybe I wanted a Kevin Smith. I can't unleash. And I'm not buying your story that Donald Trump is doing this to you. This ICE debacle has been going on from 2023. So don't blame Donald Trump because time catch up with you. Who though is Mr. Nicely? They say I want all Jamaica journalists them. I want whole no. God know Jamaica journalists. Because when you done so the thing, when you make the thing look dunce. When you just put a mic in front of people's mouth I said, talk, sir, talk. Jamaican journalists, what is wrong with you all? No, how fair. In this country, Empress Deb, once you're 15, 16, or after your 15 or 16 birthday, your child social security number come through the post. So he would have to have a social security number from in an adolescence where him can, Jesus, the story don't fix. The story too all over the place. But we're going to play this, and then me go talk to Damien again. Morning, B. So that's Chopper John in the black shirt with the red book. All right? Black shirt, red book. So the debacle started inside the school. And of course, it spilled over into the car park.
Christopher McCurdy, that's my name. Bring the lawsuit. Your behavior is not fitting for a principal. Carry on. That's quite fitting for a principal. Carry on. Carry on. Sue me. Christopher McCurdy, sue me. Go to court. Sue me. Christopher McCurdy, that's my name. Bring the lawsuit. Your behavior is not fitting for a principal. Carry on. That's quite fitting for a principal. Carry on. Carry on. Sue me. Christopher McCurdy, sue me. Go to court. Sue me. Christopher McCurdy, that's my name. Bring the lawsuit. Your behavior is not fitting for a principal.
Your behavior, he said, is not fitting for a principal. Personally, I don't think the opposition treated this with the seriousness they ought to have, because we see that the government is playing twist ball around us. Them send a team down there. The lady come turn up and show with the next man and say she wear clothes. We hear say the board dissolve. We hear say they now go look more legislation to get more power to intervene in schools. What we have not heard if Chopper John is being removed from anything to do with the school board, given they have dissolved it. So that means But will a reform of the school board have anything to do, any Chapajan involvement? I don't think the Damian Crawford as our next education minister deals with this issue serious enough. They need to come and tell us how they will deal with the issue when they become government. As in, at the moment, the MP them is the one them who assign like board chair for school, hospital, and them something there which falls into their catchment. Given what we have seen transpired at St. James High, that's too much power for the MP to just pick up and decide upon one friend and decide that his friend becomes the board chair of the chair of the school board. A school governor is a powerful position. You sign off on a lot of things. You sign off on finances. Now, if you give that power to local government, give that power to the municipal corporation to appoint those people within the catchment. Sometimes the MP no come from what and about, yeah. The MP just can pick up one of them friend from anyway and come put ya. Why don't we give that power to local government? As I said, there's a broader democracy in local government where both PNP and Labour can vote on the appointment of a school governor. These are important conversations for the opposition to have with us. They could become the next government in a matter of months. What we don't want is for the brouhaha and the malarkey to continue. We want to know, say, this is what they will do. This is how they will manage it. Jesus Christ, PNP. I want to know see someone I fall out a tree, you know, still a leg off of the rope. Try change what you not do right now. Try to look what you all are not doing right. Me not see the PNP have no media presence whatsoever in an election year. No media presence. So you think you're going to win an election? How you think you're going to win an election? You don't have media presence. You're not talking about policies. I honestly don't know what's going on, because it looks like them willing to hand the country back to Andrew Holness for whatever reason. I don't know. But it looks like it is their intention. And if we have a third term, continue in continue in the way it is going on now. My God, I really wouldn't want to see the effects of it, because it's terribly, I know, you know, terrible. And given how power hungry Andrew Holness is, if Andrew Holness gets a third term, you will not have a general election, no matter what happens, until the constitutional time run out upon him. So, me no know where we are going to get it. PNP no feel like them to work harder? Me no know. Right. there's much of conversation going on because, you know, that gentleman attacked Carlos, and I read through the comments, and what he was saying to the people, everybody around with the story, why the whole of we, or why the all of them want to video police, but them now go video criminal and bad man. I want to say to Mr. Advisor, just on that note, I think you should break history in Jamaica. Find bad men to video them and put them on social media. You can make it a start. Monkey see, monkey do. When you start it, more Jamaicans will catch on to it. But everybody is going on about mainly the JLP them, because I've been listening some TikTok lives over the weekend where they're having this massive issue where people are carrying on the police, and they would, if you listen to them, they would make you think that our police, our policing are so perfect. And we should, the more the Minister of National Security refuses to roll out body cam for their officers, you, the people of Jamaica, should continue to video them. Let me tell you why the minister, they don't want to use the body cam. This is my thinking. This is not factual. This is my thinking. The police themselves extort motorists on a daily basis in our country. Government also give them ticket book. If you go there, go extort the public to top up the government coffers. Now, a Jamaica constabulary force who goes around on a day-to-day basis, carrying out those practices, they wouldn't want to be wearing body cam, do you think? Police who literally, on a day-to-day basis, extort the people, extort particularly motorists, those people wouldn't want to be wearing a body cam. It's not only the extrajudicial killing they would be trying to protect themselves from, but they extort the public on a day-to-day basis, which the body cam are going to make Opa police dead for hungry pan road because for them get them lunch money. And when the government choose to come harass taxman to top up their tax revenue, so in my thinking, it is one of the reasons for the pushback. But I will show a video to you from Mr. Dunn. Mr. Dunn he's a law student, but he also audits the police. And Jamaicans, you must watch this young man videos to understand how to deal with the police. The law gives the police powers to stop you. They have the powers given by law, but the law also says you must have a reasonable suspicion to use this power. You don't just use the power willy-nilly because you have it. You must use it with reasonable suspicion. Articulate your reasonable suspicion. Two of the first things the police must do when they stop you. They must identify themselves. And they must articulate a reasonable suspicion. The law does not say you can stop anybody and ask them anything. You have constitutional right, which the police cannot violate. So if the police stop you because they think you carry drugs in your car, him cannot just stop you and say, I want to search your car. The police must stop you and say, we have reasonable suspicion that you're transporting narcotics in this vehicle. That reasonable suspicion is articulated. But when you stop a vehicle and said, I want to search or hand over your document, there's no reasonable suspicion articulated. It is a violation of your freedom of movement. So let's look at this interaction between the police and the law student. And more you realize our police really doesn't understand jilt or jolt.
Yes.
Have anything to declare to the police?
Sorry, what's the purpose of this stop again?
Purpose of this?
Yes.
We have it spot check
So the purpose, so you're stopping me because you want to check the documents? What else?
We just have a random check.
It's a random check? Yeah. Officer, my name is Jermaine Dunn. You know it's not legal to stop somebody for a random check? You know it's not legal to stop someone for a random check? I currently have 5 cases in front of the court with the police. Suing for breach of constitutional rights. Yeah, go ahead. I'm recording, by the way.
Yeah, I realize.
Yes.
So what are you saying? Over the years, police have been doing something illegal.
Yes, and I brought it up already.
What are you saying?
Yes.
So that means that the system.
Let me turn off the engine. Let me turn off the engine.
They are misleading us.
Let me turn off the engine. Because
Dr. Chang, I hope you are listening. The man said then, so they are misleading us. They have us out here doing it when the law says we shouldn't be doing it. Dr. Chang. Listen very well.
Sorry, what is the purpose of this stop again?
Purpose of this?
Yes.
We have it spot check. We check documents.
So the purpose, so you're stopping me because you want to check the documents? What else?
We just have a random check.
It's a random check? Yeah. Officer, my name is Jermaine Dunn. You know it's not legal to stop somebody for a random check? You know it's not legal to stop someone for a random check? I currently have 5 cases in front of the court with the police. Suing for breach of constitutional rights. Yeah, go ahead. I'm recording, by the way.
Yeah, I realize.
Yes.
So what are you saying? Over the years, police have been doing something illegal.
Yes, and I brought it up already.
What are you saying?
Yes.
So that means that the system.
Let me turn off the engine. Let me turn off the engine.
They are misleading us.
Let me turn off the engine. Because I have all the time. Officer, as I said, there is such a thing as the constitutional right to freedom of movement, which as such allows me and all citizens, yes, whether you want to drive or whether you want to be walking, the freedom to move. Let me finish. Yeah. The freedom to move without arbitrarily being stopped by or harassed by the police. Yep. Yeah. That is a right. Yeah. Unless you have reasonable, articulable grounds to suspect that I have committed a crime, intend to, or wish to, or whichever way you want to put it.
That is exactly the reason why I stopped.
Yeah, but you can't change your mouth now. That's why I maybe start recording. You cannot tell me after that fact that you are stopping me because you. Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. So
yes.
If you are carrying something illegal,
yes,
or if you're a criminal, are you going to write it on the car for me to see it?
Well, I tell you the truth.
Okay, here's a criminal.
I've had this argument with even inspectors, and they have to run and go.
How am I going to know?
And I'm saying that has been settled in the law. Yes. You remember my name is Jermaine Dunn. So I'm going to ask you simple. Are you ordering me or are you asking me for my documents? No, I'm not going to give it to you. Are you order? If you're ordering me, no. If you order me, I'll give it to you. But I'm not going to. Yes, order. Just like when I. No.
Are you going to comply, sir?
No, not unless you order me. Not unless you order me, sir. Because you're breaching my constitutional rights to freedom of movement. Yes.
Oh, why?
How? Me tell you already. All right, let me come out of the vehicle. No, that is a misunderstanding. That is always happening. You know, that is a misunderstanding. You know, no, that is a mis. That is the misunderstanding. And I. All right. And I'm saying, nothing under the law. I want to give you a heavy no because Thailand I bottom and a poor soul. But anyway, the fact of the matter is, nothing under the law gives any police officer the right to randomly, sir. I have a constitutional right to freedom. 5 lawsuits already, you know. 5. And all of them.
Rainy days don't seem so.
All of them in there, you can't. This is what they call this now? Fishing expedition. So, as I said, I just don't like the harassment.
I am not in a court.
Then that's okay.
And I'm not a lawyer.
And that is okay.
I have no time for the long argument.
I'm a student of the law.
Right?
I'm a student of the law.
And that is why you come out. You want to give the police problem.
I'm not giving police problem. I'm standing up.
Stopping you, right?
It is an illegal stop.
Yeah?
Yes.
Why is it?
Because the law is all right. Hold on. This is not my first. We can show you 300 videos. Yeah. The fact of the matter is this. No. Justice Davis Batts had sent the judgment to the commissioner at the time and make him know. Quite a while. Make him look for the judgment.
Why they not stop police from going out?
Because too many people don't. It's on the radio almost every day.
Yeah.
Lawyers are on there telling the people. Yes. It is not legal for a police officer, no matter which rank you want to have, to randomly stop someone's vehicle. Your office suspects either you have a traffic misdemeanor, something about the vehicle must be off. And also that's why right now the parish council owe me about $150 million. I mean, I build a building out along there.
And you win, where you get that?
You know what? As let me just pause it. And you cannot manufacture it now.
No,
you're going to try best. Try your best shot. Read all the reasonable grounds.
Okay, we can stop and search.
Yes.
Under the Firearms Act.
Yes, that's not reasonable grounds. That's an act. You can stop under the Predator Larceny in the Act. You can stop on the search under the dangerous drugs, under the human trafficking. Yeah. You have 1 million of them. I know all of them.
No. As what the police is reading from there, the law gives, you have many different acts under which the police can stop you, but they must have a reasonable suspicion. So if they're going to stop you under the Firearms Act, when they stop you, they must identify themselves and tell you, we have reasonable suspicion that this car, or we have intelligence that this car is carrying a firearm, and therefore that's the reason why we stop for the search. But they can't just stop you so because they want to interfere in your business. Otherwise, if the law was allowed to be used like that, it would have been used in a very vindictive manner. This is why, even though the law gives you power to stop me, the law says you cannot just stop me willy-nilly. You have to have a reasonable suspicion that I have committed a crime, I'm about to commit a crime, or I'm in the, what you would call that word, the process of committing the crime. So that's why them can't just see a walk down the street or a drive down the street and use their power of their feeling. Now, here where the tricky part come in, and this has always been a contention in the United Kingdom. reasonable suspicion, some argue it is objective, many argue it is subjective. A reasonable suspicion in a police officer's mind is not a reasonable suspicion in another police officer's mind. So one argue it's more a subjective. Police can and have always used that subjectivity to get around interfering with your freedom of movement by just using the articulation. Jamaica police don't understand it.
But none of them exceeds the constitutional right to freedom of movement.
I'm not stopping your freedom of movement, sir.
Yeah, but you've just arbitrarily stopped me a while ago. All right, question. Do you know that once? Do you know?
You are taking something illegal.
Yeah, but you have to suspect me if I don't have a suspicion. You can't do that. And this is too much. Yeah, too much. Eh?
Why you think the
yeah, but you didn't tell me that from day one. If you pull me over and say you're suspect, no, I'm not trying to be difficult. No. I try to educate every time. All about class over there, you know. No, are the facts. Look, isn't that a while ago? That's an arbitrary stop unless she can tell him saying suspect him of something. Then it's illegal at the law. Officer. Anyway, never done. I'm gonna cast long will become. Hey, go on.
We have a million previous last name this year.
So, but you never see that. You just tell me that from day one. No, you have to tell me. The minute you declare that you're stopping me for a reason, your reason must be clear. And this is why we have to repeat. And if we got a clear, reasonable suspicion, fine. Anyway, if you order me to give the documents, I have a class of you this time. If you order me to give me the documents, I'll give it to you.
So I should order you.
If you order,
I'm giving you a laugh.
No, you ordered me.
You have a problem, man. You know you have a problem.
Me say, you give me a laugh for that, I'll give you my documents.
You laugh for that and to go to the police station.
No.
Until tomorrow, until I finish the investigation.
Yeah, then I can go park it. Go on. Nothing wrong with that. No problem. I can find another one. No problem. So you want the papers? You ordered me, remember that. You ordered me for the papers, sir? Just to be clear. Is it that, did you order me or did you ask me? Okay, thank you very much. What's your name again, officer, before? What's your name again? Thompson. Well, okay, all right. Remember, sir, order me though. So when we done, we can have this. Remember, sir, order me. I remember, sir, when you order somebody, the amount of money make it in a court gone up more. Yes, there you go. Because you exert authority when you never have no right. Remember that. And how much are we encounter on the road, but a few without there. Yes, because once you say you order me, you have just exerted your authority. It's like when the court say order that you come, I refuse to give you freely. Freely. So I'm asking you to order me. And then
I know if you refuse.
That is when
something. I will take action.
And then we have a whole problem. Don't worry. We cannot wait for them. Yes, man. Well, the lawsuits get fat.
The argument in court would be it's whether the order was law. The police say it's a lawful order. The order will the argument will be whether it was a lawful order or not. Because he has not given a reasonable suspicion, he has no right to order him. So once you hear him tell the police, say, I'll only give it if you order me, it's an automatic setup for a lawsuit. Jamaican police don't, because if you've seen this type of audit with American police, the minute you ask them to order you or to call their supervisor, things scale down because they're exerting their personal power, using the law to exert their personal power. So what this order does is set up the police officer for a lawsuit because he doesn't have a reasonable suspicion to stop him. We still haven't heard him articulate one. So the order is an illegal order which violates his constitutional rights to free movement. Jamaica police them don't say no. That's why a long time I tell Dr. Chang, your men needs to be retrained, doctor. Customer service is a whole big thing. Knowledge of the law is another, Dr. Chang.
That me I tell us that's how you go. That's how you go. Yeah, Mr. Dunn.
So can I see the chunk?
I am not consenting to a search of my property. If you order me to search my property, then fine. That's an order. Remember, you're breaching my rights because your stop was not under any reasonable suspicion that I'm committing a crime or intended to commit one. You said it. You see your conduct. You see you're doing document inspection. Question. You think the police have already stopped me to inspect my documents? Yeah, we can go back.
I said document. Yes.
So
I'd like to see the vehicle.
and then I ask what crime.
The document.
Yes.
I would like to look at it.
So I'm asking you, what crime did you suspect me of committing?
At least I was just reading them out to you, you know.
No, you can't read them off of the.
The dangerous drugs.
That is not a crime, officer. That is just the other law that gives you the right under that law.
This is why we are to record every interaction with the police, because this helps also to show Dr. Chang that the training we are talking about is needed, that the camera, the body cam is needed because it will scale down the police using their personal authority, using the law to execute their personal authority. So I think more and more Jamaicans should be recording all of these police interaction, good or bad. It will help Dr. Chang to see what area he needs to provide training in.
You have the right. That's it.
I'm ordering you, please do it.
All right. Remember, that's an order, you know. And you see, when me get order, you see, last time I get an order, and the one that make I got code fast.
No problem.
Straight to the Supreme Court to get the money. Go on.
So why you comply? You like to be ordered? I
don't not like to be ordered. I don't like to consent to police harassing.
You like to talk?
No. So when I get an order, I will comply.
I realize you like to talk.
No, man.
Can I look inside here?
Inside the vehicle?
I rather to order you again.
No, man, you done breach everything already, you know. So.
Yeah, that's much breach.
I tell you. You think and I tell jokes up, you know. I don't comply to harassment from the police.
Harassment?
Yes. And which one do I know this in there? Oh, see that? Yeah, harassing me. Harassment, you call this.
Now, what search would that be if it's not harassment? Of course, in law, a police officer stops you, and if he peeps into your car, it's a search, and that's an illegal search. But what, even though he has not articulated a suspicion as to why he stopped him, what was he searching to find? What could you have found just peeping into a car? Me not understand how police at Jamaica so done. I mean, like, permanent marker type of dunceness.
Okay, Mr. Dunn.
Yes. Finish?
I'm not going to apologize for harassing you, so you can take it up with the law.
Who is your supervisor officer again?
My supervisor.
Yeah, and where do you attach again?
I am attached to the Portland Police. Here.
Which station?
Well, this is a section really that from Sansan. Sansan.
So the Sansan. So that is Sergeant Taylor.
Yes, sir.
Oh, gotcha. And Inspector McBean. All right, good. All right.
You know, sometimes I'm almost sorry for them because this police is not an aggressive police like the others. You can see that this is a police officer that would have done his job well, in my opinion, based on what I've just watched. That has the potential to do his job well if properly trained. The police, though, doesn't seem to understand what it is that he needs to do. People need to download this video and carry it with them for reference. Trust me, Abena, trust me. But honestly, I kind of feel compassionate for this police officer because regardless, he does have a calm demeanor. I've seen Mr. Dunn in quite a few police interaction, and some part them really manhandled him. In some of the other videos, police seem to just, them know him now. So I think because them know him face, them just stop him for harass him. But he does get stopped very, very regular. Very regular. It looks like because the police, them know him now, them stop him and think that they're going to intimidate him into stop searching him. But this is why training is important. Because this police officer, he's not aggressive. Based on a lot of interaction I've seen Mr. Dunn had with police officers, this one is quite a calm police officer that if trained properly and being given the proper knowledge and tools, will do a job that does not piss us off as most of our police do. Trust me, Joan Bailey, they need to have more knowledge of the law. And this is what a lot of people don't understand, that you need educated police to be in the force as well. A lot of British police officers, tantamount of them have not law degree, have lots of different degree, whether it be law, criminology, or whatever. And really, off the street, dunce them really in the police force, or the FBI in America, people them with law degree, accountant degree, and science degree, and all sort of bull malarkey. Some of this is missing in our police system. We need educated police who understands the law, and you can't just send out a whole bunch of dunce who don't have a proper senior with them that understands and know the law and know when their rookies are going wrong. Because what will happen, Dr. Chang, if the police have these type of training where it's a more amicable interaction with the people and the police, you get crime down because the people will trust the police and the people we can talk to the police and tell them who is X and who is Y. But when everybody afraid of the police and don't trust the police, Dr. Chang, you're going to have more and more standoff. Have I ever been a police officer? No. Do you have what it takes? No. Do you know about Jamaican police? Yes, I've lived in Jamaica for 23 years. I have many police friends. When I was at Black River Police Station, when I was there, what does your question have to do with the conversation I'm having? Are you saying that police have to be aggressive, police have to extort the people? You can't tell me that I don't understand what is happening and you are not explaining what is happening. The video I've just played, it have a quite good explanation in it. We have regularly, because you must one of them corrupt police officer make you come with, it's not a one-sided story. We deal with police interaction and the people and here many a times. This is an issue where we're saying the police are using the powers correctly or the law incorrectly. We're asking for training for them. What do you not understand and you call yourself critical thinker? The fact that you call yourself critical thinker and your 4 or 5 questions are literally bullshit of a question, given what I've just played and what I'm reasoning about. The word critical thinking doesn't sit well with you. Change it to something else, will you? It's very one-sided. What is one-sided? What is one-sided? Have I not spoken good of this particular police officer as opposed to some others that I've seen this very young man, Mr. Dunn, have interactions with? You must be a labor right or a police officer, because a ungo uno missia run out and go on like say people must not address the issues. People must not try to upgrade the standard of our belittled left and right police. These are the things we're trying to get rid of. The left and right, they using your personal feelings to enforce the law. It's not like that. It is because Jamaica police them dunce, backwards, and corrupt while we're having most of the interaction. Few, very few. They have people there with qualification. Very, very few. You need an awful lot more nationwide. You come in like you never toured Jamaica yet and see police interaction. We don't know how much parish of Jamaica you know, but I know 13 of the 14 parishes. And I've seen police behavior in all of them when it comes to traffic stop. They stop you for nothing but to get a lunch money. The problem is with Uno Jamaica police, why you don't want to wear body cam or why you don't want people to video, you know, it's because it cut off on the lunch money. Talk the truth. Talk the truth. And the lunch money don't come out here. And the extortion money a war over. What we're arguing about is having a better, more equipped, more intelligent police service. We don't want police come out a road and stop with and citizens have to teach police the law, critical thinking. What do you think of that? The man didn't understand the law. All of you police should understand it. All of the police should understand that when they're stopping us, they can't just stop up and say, stop us and say, me want to see your documents or me want to search your car. No, they must, the law says, give a reason. Otherwise, it's a violation of your constitutional right. Is there something in that you don't understand? Because the thing says CXC and GCE are subject. What in that do you not understand? What part of what I'm saying and the advice I'm giving to make our policing system work better do you not understand? And then you call yourself critical thinker. The government, Andrew Holness once stole us. I love the poor, but I hate poverty. I love the poor, but I hate poverty. This is the third time. Me not see this government do nothing for the mad people them downtown or the street people them. Me see them stop Dana and do it. Me see them went after Andre Stevens for doing it. And here come another young man again, where the government stopped from feeding homeless people. This is a government that says, I love the poor, but I hate poverty. Make it make sense, Prime Minister. Make it make sense. I love the poor, but I hate poverty. Literally don't make much of a sense. King TJ, when you say a critical talker, you name rather than critical thinker. No, sir. Blacker Wagwan. Now, on my final subject. To their rule, not enough evidence. Time has passed. It's not in the public interest. Paula Llewellyn, the sun has pitched right on my camera. The sun pitching on my camera on YouTube, people. The sun soon. The sun is bright in London, but don't make you fool, you know. It is pinchingly cold outside. Sometimes the heat, you can go out there and feel the sun, but you're out there too long, it is still really cold, but the sun is brilliant outside. I mean, like, brilliant. So it's streaking through the window and it go right in on my camera, so never mind that. Now, Miss Paula Llewellyn. A lot of people are calling for the Kroll report to be released. As I have said before, it's kind of the wrong call we're making at this point. Not that it shouldn't be released, at this point. The Kroll report would be important evidence to any criminal trial in the SSL scandal. We already know that Gene and Panton is awaiting trial. We are aware that FID has sent their report over to Paula so Paula can make a ruling on that as to whether more people will be charged or not. It is the ruling that we ought to be pressing for, because the Kroll report will be used in the trial, and you cannot publish it before the trial because, you know, right to fair trial and all of that will collapse the case. The other part of it, though, it is important that we press the DPP for a ruling before going forward with Gene and Panton's trial. If Paula goes forward with Gene and Panton's trial, and then after the fact charges other people, they can try to get their charges thrown out based on fair trial right, that the evidence is being disseminated publicly and is of public knowledge. Why them wouldn't ask for them case thrown out? So we asking to release the Kroll report. We're asking to throw the whole thing out the water. Because if the Kroll report is being published now, you cannot use them as evidence. Therefore, we are asking for the case to be messed up. What we are asking for is the ruling from the DPP as to whether there will be more charges. If you go ahead wanting to charge Gene and Panton only, it wouldn't be justice. And if you expose that evidence and then go charge the cross-credit or Zachary Harding, the Prime Minister, Nigel, or anybody, their clever, expensive defense lawyers would ask to have those charges thrown out because of the client fair trial right, which would be a breach of the client's of your fundamental rights. It is the ruling we want from Paula. We want more charges. We don't want the report yet. We want charges. She don't have any ownership. Well, go on, Miss Maris, how you do? How you do? Long time. We want charges. We want the ruling from Parla, and we want more charges to be brought. Then Parla Llewellyn can go ahead with a trial. But going ahead with Jean and Pantan only, in my view, that's a bid to mess the case up. Because when you use the thing and try Jean and Pantan, can you go and charge the Crosskreys or the Hardins or the Holness or the Clarks after that and have a successful conviction? This is why I keep saying from the other day, we should not accept Paula Llewellyn going ahead with a trial against Jean and Pantan only. If she go ahead with a trial against Jean and Pantan, it's going to mess the thing up. And Jean and Pantan alone did not bring down SSL. Why is Paula blocking? This is not how the Privy Council works, DJ Architect. Anything coming to the Privy Council, you have to go through the Jamaican system first. And the next thing I want to ask Nigel, it's just a question so it can soak in you. So when we tell you why, may I ask you, why did you use Kroll as opposed to the FBI? We will answer that for you later on this week, Nigel. Think on this. Why did Nigel Clark use Kroll, a British investigator, as opposed to the FBI we were promised when the thing went down? Later this week, you will find out why it's a possibility that Nigel Clark deliberately chose the British investigators as opposed to the American investigators. There was another point I want to touch on. It slipped my mind now. I don't think I have it on this thing here, and I can't remember it. Can't know me old. So, what was the other point? I wanted to say it was something that I didn't prepare. It was something that I didn't prepare to say that pops up in my mind, but it ran out here now. It nearly come back to go while, you know. It is something to do with the SSL galang, you know, but me no remember the train of thought there. But may I go explain to you later on this week why Nigel used Kroll as opposed to the FBI. Oh yes, this was what I want to advise the PNP on. If you have not yet started, you can prevent the 15th parish of Portmore from being involved in this general election. All you have to do is tie it up in the courts. Tied it up in the courts. If the Constitutional Court ruled in the Prime Minister's favor, which I don't, because the advice from the Electoral Commission would go along with the People's National Party if they're to take a case to court. If they go along with them, quick appeal into the appeals court. If the appeals court rule before the election, baps your uncle into the Privy Council. You must tide Portmore up until there's a proper solution. You don't have the legislative brouhaha to go against them. Protests in this matter is quite useless rather, because the law has already passed. What you need to do, tide it up in the Constitutional Court so it cannot be ask for a stay, ask the court for a stay as well, to make sure they cannot move on anything until the court makes a ruling. Holy Palaya and I PNP, uno ought to know say, that uno fido. The demonstration and the town hall meeting after a legislation is passed, it's not good work. What you need is a swift case in the court, asking the court to stay the law until the court reviews it and stop the bullshit. PNP, thank you all very much for being here this morning on the Global Television Group. Lovely to have your support. As always, thanks to everyone on TikTok, YouTube, and of course, Instagram. Join us right back here this evening for the people's point of view, because we now make the little cold sun down. Tap up the screen, people, and make sure you follow the live if you're not new. Follow the live, follow the live. Me now make this a bright, cold sun. Out of door done. I mean, I get my share out of it. Linval, thank you. I hold that. Sharon Bank. Thank you. Is it Sharon? Sharon Banks. Thank you. Mighty Blast. Thank you very much. Come, make sure you follow the live. Follow the live. Follow the live. So, me now make this a little cold sun. This a little cold, bright sun. We're out of duty there. Done. And me not get little hit. So thank you all for being here this morning. Lovely to have your support as always. Join us back this evening, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. rather, Eastern time, 11 p.m. UK time. Thank you all very much. Good morning and good afternoon from the Global Television Group.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.